demonstrate how to do a arm sugaring. So my arm hair is, you can see it's lighter color, but it's fairly long. And definitely long enough to, so I have my jar of sugar and I'm just pulling a ball out. Alrighty. And then I just have it in my hand. And my hair is growing sideways on my arm, at least this part of my arm. So I'm going to go against the hair growth, just like this. And I'm not putting a ton of pressure down into the sugar, even though it might look like it. Okay, so by doing this yourself, you can't hold your skin tight. So you just have to do the best you can, like I'm going like this to kind of stretch my skin out a little bit, and then just put some pressure right here and flick. Put some pressure, flick. Just roll, put some pressure, flick. Okay. And you want to keep it on your fingertips so it doesn't get too melty or anything like that. And I'm using my thumb on the back to kind of keep that sugar from riding up the fingers. And this molding, if your sugar is already melted, you might only have to mold it like one time, maybe 2 times. But it does help the sugar kind of mold into the hair and grab the hair out by going over a few times. All right, so now I'm ready to flick. I'm gonna put some pressure here and flick, some pressure, flick. All right, keep it on your fingertips. It's gonna feel really weird in your hand if you've never done sugaring before. It's gonna feel like this really sticky ball that's like all over and gooey, but you will get used to that sensation and just you start to kind of ignore it and just focus on sugaring. So you can see like it is kind of gooey over my fingers. Sometimes from a distance it looks like I have this like perfect little ball, but it's not. When you don't wear gloves, like I'm not wearing gloves today, I will have to wash my hands to get all that sugar residue off at the end. Okay, so I'm going to flick again. So put pressure here, flick, pressure, flick, pressure, flick, pressure, flick. Okay, so this hair on most people grows down towards the elbow. So I'm going to go up. With sugaring, you get the best results typically if you go against the hair growth and flick with the hair growth, which is opposite of traditional waxing methods. Okay, I'm just going to do 2 because my sugar's starting to get a little softer, so I can tell I don't need to go over 3 times. Okay, here we go. Okay, this time I'm thinking I'm gonna have to like turn somehow. Just want you guys to be able to see. I guess it's hard to see, but I'm putting pressure here and then flicking. Pressure, flick. And I'm not flicking up, I'm flicking round with the kind of like perpendicular to the skin. Okay. So this hair up on the upper arm does mostly grow down. Some of it I think is growing sideways. So just kind of see, how your hair growth is. Men, it's pretty obvious because usually it's so long and coarse, but women, it can be a little bit harder to see which way it's going. All right. Okay, so it is getting softer, but I'm trying to keep it on my fingertips so it doesn't get too melty. If it gets too melty, it starts to get harder to work with, especially without being able to hold the skin really tight. So one way to keep it from getting too melty is just not put a lot of pressure. Like now that it's soft, I don't even have to put any pressure to glide it on. I'm just kind of plowing it on. Okay, I do have a little bit of hair around my elbow. it's really, I was kind of bummed that I got some sugar right on that tip because that tip can be dry and the sugar just loves dry skin. It just sticks to dry skin. So if you do get sugar right on your dry elbow, and it's just really sticky and not coming off, you can just rinse it off with water. That's usually the best way because it's if you try to get it off, you might end up actually taking some skin that you don't want to take, and it'll cause like a little scab there. Elbows and sometimes knees are just those two spots on people that I found that the sugar can be a little too aggressive just because of the dry skin. So if you do have hair like up in here and you're kind of wondering like, how do I blend it in or, you know, make it so it's not just like this clear cut line. One thing that's great about sugar is it's easy to blend because it's not such a straight line like waxing. So you could just kind of go like bloop, bloop, just kind of get a little bit of hair. It's not straight line, it's just kind of blended. And that's usually a good way to do it. And then sometimes for guys, I'll actually have them stop their hairline right about this, below the deltoid, because that looks like a nice natural spot that the hair would naturally stop. And guys, don't be afraid to try sugaring your underarms, because even though it seems like manly to have hair under the arms, it's really nice not to have hair. So if you're ever brave enough to try it, let me know what you think. Because I know a lot of guys just love not having hair under their arms. So because this is a live broadcast, I'm kind of wondering how I'm going to switch to my other hand, because I have to go in the bathroom and rinse off this sugar. So right now I'm just kind of getting like these little spots. I still see like little bits of hair. The nice thing with sugar, it is more gentle on your skin, so you can go over spots more than once. If I was waxing, you wouldn't see me going over the skin as many times because the skin would be pretty red and irritated just from one time going over. So maybe, all right, I'm just gonna try this for time's sake. So my hand is sticky here, but I'm just gonna try not to touch anything. And just start here. Oh, I don't know if this is gonna work. For one, it's left-handed, so I'm not as talented. Okay, so I got kind of stuck, so that's why I'm going sideways instead of around. All right. Okay, I think this piece of sugar is pretty much done. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast, and I'll be back to do the other side of the arm.